I got the notion that they mouths is open and all that's just talking when they ain't comparing to me. They ain't comparing to me. They ain't comparing to me. Take a closer look and you see they ain't comparing.
Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim. We got Bruce Blitz here. This is the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. And the NBA Lockout has finally ended. What ultimately got this done that last night at 12 o'clock no one could have seen happening?
Can you dig that, Tim? We thought there was going to be no season. We've got a season. We've got our basketball. Let the debates begin. It's back. It's going to be a good time, Tim.
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't think there was going to be a season, honestly, and I was even thinking maybe next year we would lose some time. So the fact that they're going to get a season on Christmas, it's going to be 66 games, I think. And honestly, I think that's better for the product of the game.
I think it's better. I like the full 82-game season because I like to be able to look back and compare seasons, and a lot of times, you know, you need the full 82 to compare the consistency and level of greatness a player's had over 82 games because it's been 82 games for decades upon decades. So the fact that it's 66 is kind of a downer. I'm not trying to be Debbie Down here, but it's kind of a downer because basically they ended up taking a deal that's pretty close to what they were offered at first, so they just kind of wasted our time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like 3 months, you weren't really close a week ago, and they just decided, oh, let's just do this so we can get the season going, when basically they could have agreed to that deal 3 months ago.
Well, what it comes down to is with the BRI and this revenue that the NBA generates, if they were to miss out on that Christmas Day game, that's big. And ABC, ESPN, TNT pay a lot of money to have that product on their channels. And at a certain point in time, these companies were going to pull the plug on them being able to cash in on their checks, their television revenue. They had to get it done. The players making 50.2% of the BRI, which is what it's going to end up being depending on how much money they generate, but it'll probably be about 50.2%. You're going to see shorter contracts. You're not going to be able to pay as much to the mid-level exception. After a couple years, the sign and trade is going to become de facto. So there's going to be a lot of changes. You're going to see more player movement, but in the free agency market. And if you've got a team that's like a small market team, you've got a better chance under this structure to be able to basically revitalize your team by bringing in free agents and things of that nature. So it's basically handcuffed the players a little bit, and it's given the owners, it's going to give the owners and general managers more options, Tim. So it is going to change the dynamics of the league.
Yeah, and I think as a Sixers fan, where we've kind of been handcuffed with some bad contracts over the last few years, hopefully Andre Iguodala can finally get traded away now. I kind of like the idea that this is going to allow more teams to compete and bring in new free agents. When is free agency even going to start? I don't think there's too many huge name free agents this year, but how is that going to work?
December 9th is what I'm hearing. That is the tentative date that they've set to start free agency and training camp. And then we're going to get a couple weeks of free agency and training camp simultaneously. So I'm telling you, Tim, when the season starts, we are going to see some bad basketball. I'll warn people right now that when we're talking about 2 weeks of training camp, they haven't done their off-season routine, we are going to see some bad basketball. But hey, it'll get better as the season goes along. They should be able to get in a decent all-star game. You know, we're going to have the playoffs. By the time the playoffs roll around, everyone should be good. The one thing I would caution and look out for is injuries, because even though we've seen these guys in the Drew leagues and the Gooden leagues and summer leagues and things of that nature playing ball, but Tim, there's been a lot of guys who haven't been playing ball. There's a lot of guys who were enjoying their time off. We might see some injuries and some guys who are out of shape.
Yeah, that's basically to be expected, and essentially what happened with the NFL, the first few weeks of the NFL this season were not too hot, but the product has improved, and anyone watches the NFL, I think that's the difference. But the NBA on Christmas, to come back on that day, I think is the exact perfect date to come back on. They're going to get ratings through the roof. I'm not exactly sure who's playing on that day, but I don't think it really even matters at this point. The fact that the NBA is back, David Stern hopefully is on his way out pretty soon. This is essentially a perfect scenario.
Yes, it is, Tim. So everyone get excited, pull your jerseys back out of the closet, get ready to cheer on your teams because it's going to be a good time. And, of course, Tim, right here on this channel, please subscribe to him, support him, show him support. If you can't see the level of effort that Tim puts into what he does, it's very admirable, and the guy has a ton of talent. So make sure to subscribe to Tim. And Tim, you know, you've always had our endorsement from BlitzSportsNetwork.com. You're the man, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And check out the Blitz Hardcore podcast tonight. They're going to be doing a huge NBA Lockout show. I'll probably be on tomorrow doing the Sunday night NFL. Normally I send in clips for the Tuesday night baseball. So it's going to be a great time on the Blitz Hardcore podcast the next couple weeks. I'm Sam. He's Bruce. We'll see you later.
Hold on, Tim.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I got one more thing to say, baby. Doubles.
We'll see you guys.